That's how magic works as well.
Yes,
The rule of three, you know. But yeah, you could be right. I mean, if it keeps coming that way, he's going to probably just be able to put his head on the right time and the right trajectory as well. I still can't get over the goal of Sintra Kingston.
Apparently, he has played 756 minutes. If you divide this by 90 minutes, it means that he has played 8 matches, meaning that in every game that he has played, he has scored a goal.
Yeah, that's the average, and that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
He got off into an injury. It makes things a little bit difficult to the assistant coach, Dicha, who's got to now keep issuing instructions and make sure that he remains on top. That's a tall man again. He's going to go for a shot. Not on target. He doesn't get it with the right trajectory. Hits it in the top of his boots. And he's obviously trying to avoid getting injured. But look at the through ball here. And then look at where he sends the ball to. Away from the goalkeeper on the other. To join into when you see a goal like that one. I think the other goes to smile along towards Bizarre Malayu's goal in yesterday's match. Yes.
Absolute crap.
In which he took a little bit of a pause after putting the ball in the net. And that pause, I'm sure they want to put it on posters for all to see, especially if they do win the league. Talking about faster. It's back into the midfield there. Sharefa will be pushed off the ball. It's going to be a free kick. St. George realized that they are now chasing the game. Not a good realization usually.
I'm telling you, it's not the best. I mean, coming from they've only picked 7 points out of a possible 15 with only 1 win and 4 draws. Not a good performance at all.
Well, at some points St. George were actually contending for the second position. Now they are in the 4th. 3 points will get them to 34. They might just get back to the second position. And that's where we say the challenge is much bigger for the second position than for any other position at the moment. And they are divided by just a point each. You know, Ethiopia Buna with 33, Adi Osana with 32, St. George with 31, and then Bahar Dar, of course, trying to catch up with them as well. The only thing is they've got an inferior goal aggregate. They have a +8, while St. George have a +10. That's why St. George is in the 4th position. But there's a genuinely very big challenge for the second position more than anything else. It might as well be the case because there is prize money for the second position. And there's prize money for every position.
Welcome back.
Where you are. 1 million there for the winners, 750 for the second team, and 500 for the third team. So successively, there's money there. I know you're doing your mathematics. 1 million there. You should be talking about 30,000 US dollars. Down on the right side with Kenya Marknet. Then trying to make some space there, Dunya. Oh, gets the better of Cherry Net good side. Oh, something happened to Kenya Marknet. They just went down and didn't look like he wanted to come up. And but they doesn't want to take time with that one, sends it up the field and play for a throw. Yeah, he's gesturing to what he thinks they should have been doing, I think, earlier on in scoring.
That's water under the bridge. And until maybe at water break when you can be able to tell him to use the right part.
But he should have done that at training, Gilbert.
That's what I'm saying.
Going to bring it to Sintayehu, who unselfishly sets it up for a shot. It comes from the midfield, not very well taken by Abebayehu Ajiso. It bounced and stopped right in front of him.
That's actually Berket Walde, the little man.
In Jersey 10?
Yes. Jersey 20.
Oh, it's Jersey 20, it's Berket Walde for sure.
Yes. Sintayehu and Jersey 10.
Of course, and they are a difference. I mean, that's the tallest player on the field. It can't be the shortest player. I didn't say Sintayehu. I said Ajiso.
This is Jersey 19.
Yeah, it's Abebayehu. You must make a distinction between Abebayehu and Sintayehu. They're 2 different players. This is a foul here, but also enhanced by the fact that there's a slip on the ball in the slippery conditions. Medical attention that has to be given on Didier Lied. Pitch there as well. Didier, he will be getting some medical attention. The conditions not very nice, especially for the man from Cote d'Ivoire. That's exactly where the pain is being pinpointed. It'll be stretched up the field of play. He's got 67% accuracy in terms of his passes. For the Wolaita Dicha side, he's got to give a little bit of more. He's got to give more contribution on the side. Come back onto the left side here, or the St. George side. Little touch then is a good one for Frimpong Mensah, who's overlapping this time round. Tries to catch his compatriot goalkeeper in the off his line, but it goes too directly. Needs to take here. Barakat Wole, one of the men who's always supplying it forward for Sintayeho in this two. Oh, the two men then not in good communication. Haida Shirefa has got it on the outside. Worked so hard, he brings it to Emmanuel Gabriel Michael. Looks for a position to shoot from directly. Ajay will pick it up. That will put pay to that little effort that Haida Shirefa initiated in the midfield.
Yeah, that's a good run by, that's a good take by Emmanuel Gabriel Michael. But again, you cannot hit the ball right where the goalkeeper is standing. You should have looked for the far post.
It might just have a chance to redo it. Yalnel bringing it to the right side. Kenyan marking it. Oh, just manages to send it back to Enoch Adunya. Adunya's back on the right side, looking for the best place to be able to put the ball through. He does for Kenyan Markne. I think was looking for the perfect chance to be able to shoot, doesn't get it. This will be picked up by Ajay. Something about just taking a shot from the box, Gilbert, that is still evading the St. George side in today's game.
They're in a rush.
Well, then they should shoot it quickly. I mean, I think that's what the coach is worrying about as well.
It all needs about its composure in the box, and you pick the right moment to be able to take that shot. But when you're in a rush, you'll always make mistakes.
Kenyan Markne certainly didn't. Here is Cherinet Guksa. Down on the left side, and then brings it on his right foot. A clever way to be able to go down that side. Cherinet has got 3 goals to his credit, and he's just trying to find another one. Was also trying to be provider for Sintayeho when gets to it. It's usually a very clever run when you make it down there on your right foot. Everybody expecting the cross to come in on the left foot. Didier is back into the game now. The man from Cote d'Ivoire signed to help Wolaita remain in a good position. Just go into the midfield, and then Katuch Panom latches onto it. His go to Cherinet Guksa. Looking for a switch play onto the right side. It's a very good side to work on, Gilbert, but at least they switch the play knowing there's less men there.
Absolutely. And I think the go-to man has been Cherinet Guksa. I like his acceleration. When, you know, he pretends as if he wants to stop, and by the time the defender stops, that is the time he's accelerating, and he's been very prime for Wolaita on the left-hand side of the attack.
Brought in a very good 45 at that moment. Will be out on the right side. And a push right into the midfield. Put it back by Degudebebe. Dunya. Down onto the right side. Still be back into the midfield. I think when you go into the water break, Gilbert, you will wish there was more water, even just for right, but was timing Sintayou Mengistu.
Yeah, that acceleration by him on the left-hand side, he takes off, and Adunia cannot be able to meet him, and that's a good pass. Only that the goalkeeper was right at that spot to get that ball into his arms.
So what instructions do you think they're getting now in the water break?
Well, I think it's evident St. George have had a lot of room, especially on the right-hand side. And they brought in very, very good crosses. Twice, Saladin Said has failed to connect properly. Again, Markina and Emmanuel Gibet-Mekael.
What about the Wolaita side? What do you think they're being told? They've got the man who's already gotten onto the mark in the 15th minute.
I think the strategy was to come and defend. It's 4-5-1, meaning that they loaded the defense side and they're defending very, very well. 75% for Wolaita in the middle, and very little happening on the right-hand side where Libre is actually playing his trade.
It's not very little. Zero is not very little. Zero means
completely nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening on that side.
Yeah, so
but they've scored actually through the center. You notice that even the percentage of the attacks that are coming on the St. George side is less, but a goal has been scored with that quality attack that came on that side. It was a very good pick by Cherian Guksa, who then puts through Sintayou Mengistu after watching him and escorting him forward. But it was an even better kind of cutback by the Sintayou Mengistu on the other side. I don't think the coach was clapping for that. Absolutely not. I think he was just leaving on the fact that they had been beaten at that time. This man Sintayou has put the ball in the net.
I think when you have a player of Cherian quality, a player who is very creative, because he decided to pick, take matters in his own hands and pick the first player, the second one, and then give a correct pass. That was very, very nice for him.
Frank Natal was trying to inspire his men to go back into defense, knowing that they are already 1 goal down. It's a bit going into defense, knowing that.
But have you ever realized that when you score a good goal, even the opponents will clap for you?
Well, I'm just saying that he was inspiring his men. He was not clapping for them at all. It's going to go to the right side now. Well, the clearance, not well done. This was directed. I thought he was going to hit the net here, but it takes the side netting. The best delivery coming from the right side with intention of actually putting it in the net. And the Abel cross, and then being given to Gibet-Mekael. He had calculated it, tried to put the power in it, and then the accuracy just left him at the last minute.
This is where you ask a player to be a little bit more selfish, because Saladin was already in the box.
Yeah,
muddy areas, you should take a shot and go for the rebound.
I think the shot was good enough. I mean, Saladin didn't do the wrong thing. He did the right thing to take the ball onto the right side. It's just that he didn't go into the net. There's some that miss, and some that go in. So this happens a lot. It's a big run by Libre. Being marked tightly by Frimpong Mensah. The Sherifa sends it back onto the place where they had some very good build-up. But well, Gibet-Mekael was Adunia. Well, then Kenyan marking it, but he's not getting a very good. He's not getting a very good grip of the game because of the slippery conditions. Likes to play very technical, very stealthily as well. Looks deceptively slow. That's Kenyan. Sometimes it's becoming very difficult for him to even move up at the front. So he needs the spaces to be able to play. He would have been doing a much better job if they were playing on the side that has a better playing surface. That can only come to them in the second half. The passes completed by St. George are almost doubling what has been done by the Wolaita Dicha side. The accuracy is still better for the St. George side than Wolaita. This is headed out. Worried about Diego de Bebe. That's the second time he's coming down like that from an attempt at a clearance.
Yeah, that was poor landing. It's very, very poor landing.
He's exerting himself too hard as well in two for Libre. He'll not get onto it. This is going to be a kick that will be taken by the goalkeeper, Baru Negas. Come to Ajay. There's a lot more that has come to Daniel Ajay than has come to Baru Negas. The only surprising is that the little that has come to Barunega has actually resulted into a goal in favor of the Wolaita Dicha side. Foul on Chernet Guksa. Manuel Gabriel Mikhail. Well, I think he just clipped Guksa at the back, and then Haida Sharif, of course, stands in his way, forming a little bit of a block there. And Manuel is right in actually appealing and asking, what did I do wrong? But Haida Sharif was standing in there, actually clipping of the ankle behind and then banging on to Haida Sharif. But that man is needed very much by the Wolaita side.
Absolutely, he's a highly technical player, and just his runs from the left-hand side, cutting towards the inside and getting Mengistu in prime positions. You didn't want to lose a player of that caliber.
Let's see it again. The ankle clipped, and then the banging on to the Sharif for what needs to recuperate a bit here. He's bent double by the time he's going off the field of play. Frank Natal is still trying to map up a strategy of what they're going to be doing, and I think he's in constant chat with Zerihun Shegeta, the assistant coach of the St. George side. It's going to be a free kick that will be given to the Wolaita Dicha side. Sintaye, who will always win the aerial balls when he goes for them. This is just sent out for a cautionary measure by being tested on the down and knowing very well that he's all alone there, and there's a very dangerous Sintaye who approaching as well, so it sends it off for a throw-in to allow Franco Mensa to come into his correct position in defense. Gonna come from the right side of the attack for Dicha. This is out, and gonna be a throw-in back to the St. George side. Martin is still not yet fitting. Given a very good pass, but it didn't go to the intended. Mikhail is trying to get the ball forward to Salahuddin Said. And Agabade intercepts it. Finding space to run up at the front. He can't get Cherrynet to run as quickly as he would like to, because Cherrynet has just come back into the field of play. I think he's still trying to recover. Let's get control back to Panam Gatoch. It's enjoyed with 55% goal percentage position. Later in the offside position, looking surprised at that decision. He was miles away by the time the ball was coming to him.
He was. His fast start was good. He was in no man's land.
Good run down on the right side, but cut off by Amin Tessin. By David Abebe, I beg your pardon. Back into the midfield. Abeba Yehu Ajiso. Quick recovery of Antene Guksa helps the field and helps the ball forward. Oh, that back pass would have been a little bit of a disaster. I do not know why the big defender is feeling a little bit left out. He was coming off the feet of Bintesina Tadani, almost intercepted by Sintaye. A shot comes off here, but not the kind that can trouble anyone. It comes from Wally. And a quick restart again by the St. George side. This is one they didn't do very well as well, Gilbert.
They didn't absolutely. I mean, Tessinot Adane, not sure whether he knew that Mengistu was actually coming into his strikes, and he would have done a big mistake should he have gotten onto that goal.
Abelialeo wants to take matters in his own hands and then tries to get into Salahuddin Said. It's very tightly marked. Sometimes by 3 defenders every time the ball's coming to him. Delivery intercepted by Gatoch Pano. And Ebayehu Ajiso then to Wall, who then gives it to Sintayehu again. It's just the field, and how muddy it is that through ball doesn't get in there. It was intended for Libre, but it's running also a little bit too wide every time, Gilbert.
Yeah, Libre. I think they have decided that it's better to use the wider areas, because then the ball is moving in the right direction, unlike when you play the ball through the center and it sticks in the bunch.
going to be a throw-in. One thing you don't want to do is to play very close to the coach when your team is is trailing the game by 1 goal, because all instructions are directed to you. And I think Abel now has the misfortune of having to listen to the instructions, in capital letters as they're being delivered by Frank Natal. The only other person who can hear them from the assistant coach, Dicha Tamu, is the man who's playing on the right back for the Wolaita Dicha side. So David equally gets to hear all the instructions. The turn, and then nobody allowed, doesn't have a touch on that ball. He's going to be penalized for a foul. Yeah, for just that push. Just being, of course, blocked from getting onto that ball.
Absolutely. He actually pushed Yare out in the process. I'm not sure whether the confidence levels are going down or it's just frustration that they've not been able to hit the mark.
Both will apply. When the frustration comes in, the confidence levels goes down as well. Goes up as well. It goes down rather as well. Looks as trying to run rings in there, brings it back. Can't get touch. Just dummies. Tries to get it back to all it. Now they want to build it from the left side. A long ball, this one. Just down by the goalkeeper, Baronegic. Enjoying every moment of it. This time Labour has kept it in play. It has come from the right side. Yes, the return ball. And the chin going on to the left side. Looking for a finish here. It's lifted in, but too long. And Interior Guksa with 2 minds. He's got Anagaude coming in on the left side, but he's also got Sinteu Mengistu up at the front. So he's not sure he wants to give that ball to Gilbert.
Yeah, and that's why he gave a wrong pass in a position where he should have given a good delivery for better results.
Now again blocked off by David. This is going to be given for a foul. Yeah, you'll now penalize for pushing there, but David himself in the twists and turns, I think, also slips and falls a little bit uncontrollably. It's a little hard to get back onto his feet. I think a substitution in the Wolaita Dicha side quite early. And Bebewa Jiso has been substituted. This place taken by Netzanet Gebremedin. What do you make of that, Gilbert?
Yeah, Netzanet actually played in last match. He's an attacking midfielder. I think they've realized that they can even score more goals in this one, so they bring in a more reliable midfielder in Netzanet.
Yeah, he played 77 minutes against. The last time when he played only 77 minutes. Well, let me not say only, because that was literally the entire game of it. It comes in with just about 4 minutes of time remaining in regular time. Abelialeo. And brings it back to Yasbida 5.
Please say something.
But Adani, I think the muddy patch that he has played in has really bogged him down. So much so that he was not very sure of every time he's giving the feed back to his goalkeeper or to the other defenders. There is Eno Kadunya pushing it too far. Egudabebe just easily gets onto it. Tries to cut it out. Haida Sharefa. Dunya's back on it now on the right side. Brings it to Haida Sharefa. It's lifted. Kenyan Martin tries to go for it. Takes off a little bit late. He doesn't get to it. For Kenyan Martin, certainly he's got the right intentions, Gilbert, but the man is bogging him down.
It has really bogged him down, and also he's being marked by another very tall player in Panon Gatoch, not giving him time and space to be able at least to operate the way he's normally operating when it's the weather is a little bit better.
It's going to have a throw in. It's going to be for the St. George side. They are looking for avenues to use. They've tried the power play and the push. Abadiano with a little good touch here. Looked like it was going to come all the way back to Saladin Said, but it doesn't. And the honest truth is, Gilbert, they are frustrated up at the front.
They're very, very frustrated. And Bernard, I can tell you that St. George have been very predictable in their movements because most of the attacks are coming from the right-hand side. And Wolaita has realized that, so they are loading most of their players on the side where the ball is and making it very difficult for St. George to have any penetration passes.
Yeah, that's very well pointed out. There's a good reason why they've gone onto the right side. That's the only place they've got some better playing surface from. And even the left is not as good as the right, and so they've opted to use that a lot. They may just have a better chance when they come in the second half because the advantage will probably shift onto the other side for them. The Sharifa taking it down to the right side, looking for Manuel Gabriel Mikael. And the Galvanegg is keeping close watch of that. It'll be a throw-in. Dunya back into the midfield. He tries to get it back on the right side, he doesn't. Come on, we've got 1.5 minutes. You could call it 1 minute in regular time. How would you analyze this one?
Well, I've already called them St. George as a very predictable team in the first half. Wolaita, I think they came out with a strategy, defending in numbers and hitting the ball on the counter. And I think they've been very good managers in this particular game. They've managed the possession and the pitch, and they are not in a hurry, especially when they're in possession of the ball, just waiting for the right moments to get a good pass.
Down on the right side, Kenyan trying to break through. Oh yeah, you're talking about predictability. I think Kenyan is the hallmark of that predictability today, just because the muddy conditions of the field have lessened his contribution to the team. We've played 45 minutes. I think there's going to be a minute or two added onto this because there wasn't much stoppage. And in spite of the fact that the mud has made it a little bit of a scrappy game. Yeah, there's going to be a foul. As much as Adunia was trying to take a ball on the back of Sinto Yehu. Yehu's also feels to have been pushing him out. So a throw-in. We'll play 2 minutes of added time then. A change onto the left side to Frimpong. Oh, very well taken this one by Libera. Is but Frimpong coming close to him, is waiting and then goes for the shot that forces Barunegas to pull a save. And a second one that comes from the right side that is scrapes off the ground. Oh, the intended return ball to try and make things more difficult by Libera doesn't work out. Can St. George use this very last minute kind of chance? Well, only if they try to use it as fast as they could. Oh, the attempt is to try and get it back to Kenyan Martin and he doesn't get there. Mensu, Frimpong. Try to keep it in play. It's just a little bit too difficult an angle for him. I don't think we're going to have much time to play in this half. Any moment now, the whistle will be going for half time. They will have to regroup, re-strategize, and reorganize their teams to come back into the game again in the second half. Well, they did try to get a shot from the right side, but it was blocked off by Barunegas. Haile Sheriff has picked it up. Is going to be penalized for that tackle. It's being told to categorically. Oh,
it's unnecessary.
Well, because it's just not being remorseful. There was no cut that was going to come out there, but it says something to the referee. And then that now occasions the yellow card. Totally unnecessary. I agree with you as well. And it's the third yellow card that Church will be speaking up now. He didn't need to say anything. I mean, he had already been cautioned verbally. It's the very last minute of the game as well, so now he's going to go into it with a yellow card as well. But Ben Lactasema has reffed it very well as well. Well, they came on to the right side after Liebra's shot and then got to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot. His right hand also going into position, stopping Walden's shot from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that would have been the only one that would have changed the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options exist in the second half. The St. George side will probably have the better side to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For the Wolaita Dicha side, it will also be a question of character and see whether or not they can be able to increase the lead or keep the lead altogether, and see whether they can take 3 points from this one. But from the Dicha International Stadium, it's half-time. Wolaita 1, St. George 0.
Dormo naman tayo, lalaki. Dormo ni Zelina. Iti.
It's unnecessary.
Well, because he's just not being remorseful. There was no cut that was going to come after Lebra's shot and then go to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot, his right foot from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that would have been the only one that would have changed the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options exist in the second half. The St. George side will probably have the better side to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For the Wolaita Dicha side, it will also be a question of character and see whether or not they can be able to increase the lead or keep to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that's the better side to play on, change the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time going into position, stopping Walden's shot from going up. Walden came. Now he's going to go into it with a yellow card as well, but they don't like to save as refed it very well as well. Walden came in onto the right side after Lebra's shot and then got to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot. His right hand also going into position, stopping Walden's shot from going. Anyway, Walden came in onto the right side after Lebra's shot and then got to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot. His right hand also going into position, stopping Walden's shot from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that would have been the only one that would have changed the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options exist in the second half. The St. George side will probably have the better side to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For the Wolaita Dicha side, it will also be a question of character and see whether or not they can be able to increase the lead or keep the lead altogether, and see whether they can take 3 points from this one. But for the Dicha International Stadium, it's half-time. Wolaita 1, St. George 0.
ነው እንግዲህ ወደ እናንተ የምናደርስ ይሆናል። አብራችሁን ቆይታ እንድታደርጉ ከወዲሁ እንጋብዛችኋለን ተመልካቾቻችን። ዮናስ አዘዘና መኳንንት በርሄ ነው። የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ 45 ደቂቃ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ በዚህ ጥያቄ ነው የሚጀምረው። ዮናስ ሜዳው ቡድኖችን እጅግ በጣም የሚፈትን ሜዳ የሆነ መጥቷል። የመጨረሻዎቹ ቀናቶች
በተለይ በዛሬው የመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ፈታኝ ሆኖ አግኝቼዋለሁ። ወላይታ ዲቻ የሜዳውን የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን ማጫወት ሐሳብ ያደረገ ስትራቴጂ ነው የዘገባው። በ4-5-1 ፎርሜሽን በጥልቀት በመከላከል በጣም መልሶ ማጥቃቶችን በማከናወን ነው በአብዛኛው አደጋ ሲፈጥር የነበረው እና ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በአንጻሩ አማካይ ክፍል ላይ አይደር ሸረፋ ያብስራ እንደዚሁ ከና ማርቲን አሉ። ስለዚህ ለእነዚህ ተጫዋቾች አብዛኛውን የኳስ ቁጥጥር ድርሻ ትተው ወላይታ ዲቻዎች በራሳቸው ሜዳ በመጠበቅ ፓሶቹ ሜዳው አመቺ ስላልሆነ እስከ ፋይናል ስር እንደማይደርሱ ያውቃሉ እና ያን ኳስ የተቀበሉ ረጃጅም ኳስ ለዲዴ ሊብሪ ለስንታየው እንደዚሁ ደግሞ በግራ መስመር ለቸርነ ቦክሳ ይላካልና የወላይታ ዲቻ በጣም ግልጽ እና በጣም ለሜዳው የሚመጥን አቀራረብ ነው። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል ግን አብዛኛው የተቸገሩ ይመስለኛል ፋይናል ሰር ላይ ለመድረስ አብዛኛው ኳሶች ከቀኝ መስመር ክሮስ የሚደረጉ
ፍራንክ ነተል እዚህ ተችናል ላይ ሆኖ የሚሆነው ሪአክሽን በደንብ የሚገልጽ ይመስለኛል። እስኪ ደረጃውን ስንመለከተው አሁን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አስፈላጊውን ጨዋታ እንግዲህ ነጥብ የወሰደበት አይደል? ወላይታ ዲቻ ግን ወደ ስድስተኝነት መጥቷል።
ባለፈው በአባጅፋር ጨዋታ ነጥብ ጥሏል ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እና ያን ነጥብ መጣል ተከትሎ ባህር ዳር ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና አድቫንቴጁን አልተጠቀሙም። ስለዚህ ዛሬ ደግሞ ሌላ እድል አግኝቷል ጊዮርጊስ። ይህን እድል ማባከን የለበትም። ጎል አስተናግዷል። አሁን ያሉበት ሁኔታ አሁን ካነሳነው ነጥብ አንጻር በጣም አስቸጋሪ ይመስላል።
እስኪ በመጀመሪያ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ የነበሩ የጎል ሙከራዎች ሃይላይቶችን እስኪ እንመልከት። ሳላዲን ሰይድ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ቋሚ ሆኖ የተሰለፈበት ጨዋታ ነው እየተመለከትን ያለ ነው። ወደ ጌሙ ፈጥኖ የገባበትንም ሙከራ ለማድረግ ችሏል።
ቆንጆ ኳስ ነው ከቀኝ መስመር ሄኖክ ያሻመው ሳላዲን ሰይድ የተለመደው 9 ቁጥር ሊቆምበት የሚገባ ጥሩ ቦታ ላይ አቋቋም ላይ የነበረው ኳሱን ታይሚንጉን ጠብቆ ዘሎ ነው የገጨው። ምናልባት ጎል ካለመቆጠር ውጭ ሳላዲን ሴት በዚህ እንቅስቃሴ ላይ ከዚህ በላይ ምን ሊያደርግ እንደሚችል አላውቅም። በጣም ጥሩ ክሮስ ነበር ያገኘው። አብዛኛው ከቀኝ ነው የሚነሱት የጊዮርጊስ ማጥቃቶች፣ ከቀኝ መስመር የሚነሱ ክሮሶች፣ ከግራ መስመር አንዴ ነው ፍሪምፖንግ ሄዶ ክሮስ ያደረገው። አብዛኛው ተገማች የሆነ ማጥቃት ነው እና በዚህ እንቅስቃሴ 2 ድሎች አግኝቶ ነበር ሳላዲን ሴት።
ይሄኛው ሁለተኛው ሙከራ እንግዲህ ሳላዲን የምንመለከትበት ነው። ተመሳሳይ የሆነ እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ ነው።
አሁንም በዚህ በቀኝ መስመር ማጥቃት ሄኖክ ነው ክሮስ ያደረገው። ከመጀመሪያ ኳስ ይወጥ ለኔ መኳንንት ይሄኛው ለሳላዲን ጎል ለማስቆጠር ቅርብ ይመስለኛል። ምክንያቱም ኳሱን በጭንቅላቱ ቢነካው ኳሱ ከተመረብ ውስጥ ነበር የሚያደርግ ምናምን በትከሻው ያገኘው ይመስለኛል እና በጭንቅላት
ፊት አንተነህ ሸፍኖታል።
በጭንቅላት ብቻ መንካት የሚፈልግ ይመስለኛል ኳሱ እና በጣም ጥሩ ድል ነበር ያገኘው ሳላዲን ሰይድ። ሁለቱ አጋጣሚዎች ለጊዮርጊስ እድለኛ አይደለም።
የጨዋታውን እንቅስቃሴ ከቀየሩ አጋጣሚዎች መካከል እንግዲህ ዋነኛው የምንለው ጎሉ ነው። ጎሉ የተቆጠረበት መንገድ የስንታየው መንግስቱን የዘንድሮ የውድድር ዓመት ጉዞ በደንብ የሚያሳይ ይመስለኛል። በፕሪሚየር ሊግ ውስጥ ሬቨሌሽን የምንላቸው አይነት ተጫዋቾች ውስጥ አንዱ ነው።
ይሄ አጥቂ ጎል ማስቆጠር ብቻ አይደለም ስራው። አሁን ስትመለከት የማጥቃቱ መነሻ ነው። ሊንክ አፕ ፕሌው በጣም ጥሩ ነው። ቸርነት ጉግሳ ስንታየው እስኪመጣ ድረስ ጠብቆት በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 3 ተከላካዮች ማለት ነው ሲሮጥ ጊዜውን የጠበቀ ፓስ ያደርግለት እና የእንቅስቃሴው መጀመሪያ ሊንክ አፕ ፕሌውን ተመልከተው ስንታየው፣ ከዛ በኋላ ብሩክ ማነው ሀብታሙ ኳሱን አገኛል። ቸርነት ጊዜውን የጠበቀ ፓስ ስሩ ነው። ከዛ በኋላ ስንታየው ሌላውን ስራ ነው የሰራው። ምናልባት ባህሩ ነጋሽ እዚህ ላይ ምንም ሊያደርግ አይችልም። የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የመከላከል ኦርጋናይዜሽን እዚህ ጋር በጣም ደካማ ነው። እንግዲህ ጊዮርጊስ በመከላከል ኦርጋናይዜሽን በሊጉ ቀዳሚ ከሚባሉ ቡድኖች አንደኛው ነው። አሁን ዛሬ ግን በዚህ ሲዝን እየተመለከትን ያለ ነው ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የመከላከል ኦርጋናይዜሽን በጣም ደካማ ነው።
ለበርካታ ጨዋታዎች አብሮ የተሰለፉ የተከላካይ መስመር ተጫዋቾችን አፍርሰ ሌላ ተከላካይ ጨምረ ነው ዛሬ እየተጫወት ያለውና ያ ተጽዕኖ በዛሬው ጨዋታ ላይ በትንሹ የታየ ይመስላል።
አጠቃላይ በሲዝኑ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የመከላከል ኦርጋናይዜሽን ጥያቄ የሚያስነሳ።
በሌላኛው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ የነበረ አንድ ተጫዋች እንመልከት። ሁሌም በየጨዋታዎቹ የተሻለ ነገር ለመስራት ይሞክራል። ቸርነት ጉግሳ አሁን በፕሪሚየር ሊግ ውስጥ በጣም ድንቅ የሆነ ጊዜ እያሳለፈ ነው ያለው።
የወላይታ ዲቻ ማጥቃት ለመቆጣጠር ቸርነት ጉግሳ መቆጣጠር አለበት። ቸርነትን ካልተቆጣጠር ወላይታ ዲቻ መቆጣጠር አችልም። በተደጋጋሚ ቸርነት ጉግሳን ከሄኖክ ጋር አንድ ላንድ አይተናቸዋል። ሄኖክ በጣም ቸግሯል በቸርነት ጉግሳ። እንደውም የደስታ ደግሞ ገዛው ያስፈልገው ሄኖክ እና ተደጋጋሚ ድሪብሎች፣ ሩጫዎች ያደርጋል። እጅግ በጣም ጥሩ ኳሊቲ ያለው ተጫዋች እንደሆነ እያየ ነው እና በጣም ፈታኝ የሆነ ተጫዋች ነው እና እርግጠኛ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ሙታል የዚህን ተጫዋች እንቅስቃሴ ተቆጣጠሩ የሚል ትእዛዝ ሳያስተላልፍ የቀሩ አልመሰለኝም። ግን በሄኖክ ብቻ ሳይሆን በደስታ ደግሞ እየታገዘ ይህን ማቆም አልቻለም። ከመስመር ብቻ ለሚነሳው ከአጥቂ ጀርባ የሚገኝበት ኳሊቲም ድንቅ ነው። በጣም ታስታውስ ግን ከአንድ ጨዋታ ፊት ከሳጥን ውጭ ያስቆጠራት ድንቅ ጎልና በመስመሮች መሀል የመገኘት ኳሊቲ ያለው እና ቸርነት ጉግሳ የሚገርም ሲዝን እያሳለፈ
በፕሪሚየር ሊጉ እንግዲህ ጥሩ ጉዞ እያደረጉ የሚገኙ የወላይታ ዲቻ ተጫዋቾች አሉ። ምረጥ ብለህ የትኛው ትመርጣለህ? ወላይታ ዲቻ፣ ቸርነት ጉግሳ፣ ስንታየው መንግስቱ።
ወላይታ ዲቻ በእርግጥ በግል የተጫዋች በአንድ ቡድን ጥገኛ አይመስለኝም። እንደ ቡድን አሁን በጣም ኦርጋናይዝድ የሆነ ቡድን ነው። እዚህ ቡድን ግን ጎልቶ የወጡ ተጫዋቾች አሉ። ቸርነት ጉግሳ ስንታየው 9 ጨዋታ አልተጫወተም። 9 ጨዋታ ሳይጫወት ነው 9ኛ ጎል ያስቆጠረው። በጣም ጥሩ። ሁለቱ የወላይታ ዲቻ የዚህ ሲዝን ቤስት ተጫዋቾች ናቸው።
ወደ ሌሎች የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴዎች ደግሞ እንሂድ። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ወደ ጨዋታ ሊመለስበት የሚችልባቸውን አጋጣሚዎች እየፈጠረ ነው ወይ? እስኪ ይህ እንቅስቃሴ ነው።
አቤል ያለው መጀመሪያ በቀኝ መስመር ነበር የተጫወተ የሚገኘው። በግራ መስመር ሄደ ፍሪምፖንግ ኦቨርላፕ አድርጎ ሊመጣ ሙከራ አድርጎ ነበር። ግን አቤል ኳሱ ክሮስ ለማድረግ ነው የፈለገው። ጭቃው ለወላይታ ዲቻዎች መከላከል አስቸጋሪ አድርጎ ነበር። አቤል ጥሩ ኳስ ነበር ያገኘው። አማኔ ይቅርታ፣ ግን ጎል ለማስቆጠር ፖዚሽኑ አስቸጋሪ ይመስለኛል መኳንንት። ምክንያቱም አንጉሉ የጠበበ ነው። በዛ ላይ በርከት ያሉ የዲቻ ተጫዋቾች ለማቀበል እንኳን እንዳይወስን በርካታ የዲቻ ተጫዋቾች በመከላከል ውስጥ አሉና ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጎል ለማስቆጠር በጣም አስቸጋሪ ሲቹዌሽን የሆነ ይመስለኛል። ያው
የዘንድሮ የውድድር ዓመት የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በጣም ጥሩ ከሚባሉ ተጫዋቾች መካከል አንዱ ባህሩ ነጋሽ ነው። ባህሩ ነጋሽ ከታች ጀምሮ ያደገ ተጫዋች ነው። ዘንድሮ የፓትሪክ ማትሳስን ቦታ ከተካ በኋላ በጣም ትክክለኛው ለቦታው የተመረጠ ሰው መሆኑን እያሳየ ነው። ዛሬም ይሄን አይተናል።
ባህሩ ነጋሽ ቦታውን ከተረከበ በኋላ ከለዓለም ወደኋላ አልተመለከተም። በጣም በድንቅ ብቃት ላይ የሚገኝ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ለ50 ለ60 ዓመታት የግብ ጠባቂ ችግር የነበረበት ቲም አልነበረም። ጌታቸው ዱላ፣ ደሳለኝ ብዙ ታዲዮስ ብዙ እስከ ውጭ ግብ ጠባቂዎች መጥራት ይችላል እና ዘንድሮ በጣም ተቸግሮ ነበር። በመጨረሻ ግን መፍትሄ ያገኘ ይመስለኛል። ይሄ መፍትሄ ባህሩ ነጋሽ ነው እና ባህሩ ነጋሽ ኳሊቲ ባይሆን ኖሮ መኳንንት 2-0 ወላይታ ዲቻ ረፍት ይወጣ ነበርና እድሜ ለባህሩ ነጋሽ ማለት ይገባዋል ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ።
እንግዲህ በጨዋታ ውስጥ የተፈጠሩትን የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴዎች ወይም ደግሞ ቤስ ሞመንቶችን ነው የተመለከትነው። እነኚህ ሃይላይቶች ጨዋታውን እንግዲህ ምን ያክል ይገልጹታል የሚለው ያው ተመልካቾቻችን ራሳችሁ የምትፈርዱ ይሆናል። የሁለተኛው ግማሽ 45 ደቂቃ ከመጀመሩ በፊት ደግሞ የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ 45 ደቂቃ በቁጥሮች ምን ይመስላል የሚለውን እስኪ እንመልከት። 51 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር የማድረግ ላይ ነበረ። 17 ከመቶ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የጨዋታ ሜዳ ላይ ቆዩበት ጊዜ ነው። ስለዚህ ዳይሬክት የሆነ አፕሮች መጥቷል ማለት ነው። ረጅም ኳሶች የሚላኩት የነበረው ለሳላዲን እንደዛ ነው። 32 ከመቶ በወላይታ ዲቻ ሜዳ ላይ ነበረ። አጠቃላይ 13 የጎል ማግባት ሙከራዎች ተደርጓል። 3 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ በወላይታ በኩል እንዲሁም ደግሞ 2 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል ነበሩ። 45-55 የኳስ ቁጥጥር ነው። እስኪ አታክ አናሊሲስ እንመልከት።
በትልቁ ጉዳይ ከዚህ ከቁጥሩ በተጨማሪ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በጣም ከፍተኛ የኳስ ቁጥር ነበረው። በተለይ በተቃራኒ ሜዳ ግን አታኪንግ ሰርድ ላይ ጎል ዕድሎችን ለመፍጠር አማካዮቹ በጣም ተቸግረዋል እና አማካይ ክፍል ኢነርጂ በጣም ያጥቷል። ጋቶች ፓኖ ዛሬ ሰሞኑን ወላይታ ዲቻ 10 ቁጥር ሚላ ነበር ዘላለም ፈራው የሚያሰልፈው። ዛሬ ግን ወደ ቀደመው ቦታ ወደ 6 ቁጥር ተመልሷል። ይሄን ያደረገበት ምክንያት ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ነገሮችን አስቸጋሪ ለማድረግ ነው እና አማካይ ላይ እንደዚህ ሀብታሙ ወልዴ፣ ጋቶች ፓኖ በጣም ጥሩ ናቸው። ለጊዮርጊስ በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው።
ሁለተኛው ግማሽ
በሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ምናልባት እንግዲህ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ውጤት መቀየር የሚችሉ ተጫዋቾችን ቀይሮ ሊያስገባ የሚችልበት እድል አለ። የአብስራ ሙሉጌታ፣ አቤል እንዳለ ከዚህ በተጨማሪ ደግሞ እንደነ ናትናኤል ዘለቀን የመሳሰሉ አማካይ ክፍል ኢነርጂ ቡድኑ ይፈልጋል እያልኩ ነበር። ይህንን የሚያደርጉ ተጫዋቾች አሉ። ወላይታ ዲቻ አሁን ባለው የቡድኑ ፐርፎርማንስ አሰልጣኙ ደስተኛ ይመስሉኛል። በኋላ ላይ ግን የደከሙ እግሮች ካሉ ይቀይራሉ። አንድ ቅያሬ አድርጓል። ታክቲካል ቅያሬ አበባው በመከላከል ረገድ ያሳዩ ድክመት እንዲቀየር አድርጎታል።
ተመልካቾቻችን ሁለተኛውን ግማሽ ጨዋታ እንድትከታተሉ ከወዲሁ ጋብዛችኋለን። ሁለት አማራጮች አሉ። በአማርኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት ዮናስ አዘዘና ማርቆስ ኤልያስ፣ በእንግሊዝኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት በርናንዶ ቴኖ እና ጊልበርት ሰለባ ይጠብቋችኋል። ጥሩ ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ ተመልካቾቻችን። ኋላ ላይ ስንመለስ የመዝጊያው ልዩ ዝግጅት ይኖረናል። ጅማ አባጅፋር ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጋር የሚያደርጉት ጨዋታ ነው። የድሬዳዋ የመጨረሻ ጨዋታችን ይሆናል። ጥሩ ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ ተመልካቾች።
Occasions the yellow card. Totally unnecessary. I agree with you as well. But it's that game as well. So, they came on to the right side after Lebra's shot and then got to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot. His right hand also going into position, stopping Waller's shot from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that would have been the only one that would have changed the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options exist in the second half. The St. George side will probably have the better side to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For the Wolaita Dicha side, it will also be a question of character and see whether or not they can be able to increase the lead or keep the lead altogether, and see whether they can take 3 points from this one. But for the Dicha International Stadium, it's half-time. Wolaita 1, St. George 0. And see whether themselves...
It's unnecessary.
Well, because it's just not being remorseful. There was no cut that was going to come out there, but he says something to the referee. And then that now occasions the yellow card. Totally unnecessary. I agree with you as well. And it's the third yellow card that Gachot Farad is picking up now. He had already been cautioned verbally. It's the very last minute of the game as well. So now he's going to go into it with a yellow card as well. But Bem Latasema has refed it very well as well. They came in onto the right side after Lebra's shot and then got to the goalkeeper, but he scraps it with his right foot. His right hand also going into position, stopping Waller's shot from going anywhere close to troubling him. And that would have been the only one that would have changed the scoreline probably at the very last minute of the game. But with the whistle having gone, then it will be time to just look at what options exist in the second half. The St. George side will probably have the better side to play on, and we'll see whether they can organize themselves at the back. For the Wolaita Dicha side, it will also be a question of character and see whether or not they can be able to increase the lead or keep the lead altogether, and see whether they can take 3 points from this one. But for the Dicha International Stadium, it's half-time. Wolaita 1, St. George 0.
ከስራ አለቁኝ ቁልፍ ከስራ አለ።
Well, the back to second position is proving to be a jinx with Hawata not being able to get the required results. Bahadar also failing to get the required results. Hadia also failing to get the required results. And as we speak, Wolaita Dicha leading St. George by 1-0. Is it going to continue like this? St. George have failed to permeate the Wolaita Dicha side, especially on the left-hand side, which has been very, very quiet as compared to the right-hand side. that they've used most of the time. Wolaita Dicha waiting for the right moment to be able at least to ferment through a counter-attack. Are they going to use the same tact in the second half? Join us in the commentary, English commentary, Bernardo Tieno, and you can call me Gilbert Celebo as your analyst this afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much, Gilbert. Very muddy second half of the game here. I think the discussion at halftime would have been centered on just how difficult it is to play on the surface and so that they can make the better of it. And also just what other tack they should be using, especially to try and get the goals in this one. For St. George now, they're going to have the better side to be able to strike from. But not from the center. They'll have to build it again from the wing. So maybe now the side of the pitch will favor them. For Wolaita Dicha, it's going to be more difficult to go through that middle because the balls will take an unnatural bounce. The balls will obviously also slow down sometimes quite unexpectedly. That in question, then we're going to see how it's going to pan out with St. George having gotten a running chance in the very first few minutes of the game. But Wolaita Dicha, who made a quick change in the 40th minute, bringing out Abeba Yehu, will be having at least one freshman onto the field of play to be able to work with. Kenyan Markner will just have to know now how to get either the feed from the midfield or be the one who's on the receiving end of the feed. But St. George are already exploring what angles they're going to be using in this one. So the ball will move slightly faster on this side of the field because when it bounces on the grass, it goes fast. But when it bounces in the middle, it's going to bounce and stay where it is, not going too far off. For a good example of that in that control by Haida Sherifa. You might not be able to recognize Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail very well. He came in a red jersey, but now it's looking like it's brown altogether because he fell some time into the mud and even his jersey number is not very visible. He tries to bring the ball out to the right side, but puts too much pressure on it. So much that Emmanuel Ndale doesn't get onto it. Again, Ajay Daniel, the goalkeeper on the Wolaita Dicha side, is the one who takes it. The scoreline is still in favor of the Wolaita Dicha side, 1-0. The goal scored in the 15th minute by Mengistu Sintayehu, very technically sending the ball far away from the goalkeeper, much in the same fashion that he has scored most of the goals that he has put in the net. And he's got 7 of them so far in his credit. And in one game, he scored 2 in the same sequence. One from the right, one from the left. Now, that is what they're going to have to watch out for. The ball bouncing and staying where it is. It's just that Didier Libert did not get onto it. And Agabade will get it back from Chena Guksa. And Kenyan Markner picks it up, goes for a very quick shot. It's deflected back into possession for Wolaita Dicha. So they're realizing, Gilbert, that they've got the better side of the field and that if they work hard enough, they might just be changing this anytime soon, the St. George side.
Absolutely, Bernard. And I'm hoping that while they're loading on the right-hand side, there is always a blank area on the left-hand side of the attack. So a quick switch for them anytime that they move into a crowded area would be very, very beneficial to St. George in the second half.
Oh, this one goes off the field of play. Mr. Natal's face is not as well lit as it was before. He's watching this very intently, thinking about how the second half should be working in his favor and whether it will work in his favor. Good run by Cheridan Guksa. Running off Enokadunya. It's going to be a restart on this other side. They are appealing for a penalty there. Everybody else was on their feet for that appeal.
That's a penalty.
The referee says it's a corner. Why do you say it's a penalty?
Look at the right foot, the left foot of
there is no, that's minimal contact, Gilbert. That's minimal contact there. It's not on the ball, it's not on anything. There is what is called doxo, Gilbert. Denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity. There's no, no. There's no penalty there at all. It's just a normal touch of feet. Just a normal, minimal contact. I think that's a very good decision by Biamlak, the referee. It's not a penalty in my opinion there.
Oh, Bangla.
Just the fact that everybody shouts about a penalty doesn't mean it is a penalty. We know a lot of that happens in the Ethiopian Premier League where all the players even stop playing instead of following an opportunity that could have been changed into a score. is, let off, and everybody then appeals for a penalty instead. It's going to be a corner for the Wolaita Dicha side, which is coming from the left side of the attack. The header was intended by the captain, Dicha, but he doesn't get it accurately, although he'll get another corner in the process of it. They don't seem to be in a hurry. They're going to wait for Agalba to come and take it for them, while Dicha rushes back into his position, just to make sure that he doesn't get caught. It's going to be a throw-in. I beg your pardon. It's going to be a throw-in. While he rushes to make sure that no mistakes are made on that side. Chip back into the center. That's one of the most difficult areas to play on. Just muscled off the ball by that touch Bono. Well, then brings it back to get touch on the right side. From Mansour, then cutting it out on the left side and brings it back to the center. So it's a push then to try and get a better position. Yes, Birote's fight. Either Sharefa, it's got the energy to still push through in the midfield. And Abel Yoleo. It's St. George side taking their time. I think Manuel Gabriel Mikael had asked for it. So Frimpong then rolls onto that left side. It's cut out by Dicha. But you can even hear the intensity of it in terms of the hard shot that came from Frimpong Mensu.
Yeah, it's power. It's power. Those kind of balls, you hit them hard right in between the goalkeeper and his defenders. Either be the defender putting the ball in the net or a striker, oncoming striker.
They'll get another corner there. They're troubled. And looking like it's going to be carving with the right foot. Well, they go for a very short one. And then Cherry Gutsak brings it out. Sinto Yehu dummies it away from Haida Sharefa. And on the other side again, as Bidatis fire dummies it. Gabriel Mikael. Just a spirited delivery up at the front to try and make things more difficult for the Wolaita Dicha side by the St. George side. Now bring it back to their own side. They have to build it from there as well. It's pretty obvious they're looking for a through ball every time they're coming onto it. Kenyan Markme has probably been the one for whom the field has not worked very well. His pushes on the ball, sometimes falling short of getting to who they are intended. Good again, and Walden gets it from that touch Bono. That's the new substitute pushing it forward. Let's it Gabriel Medina is the man. So it's going to be who gets the better of the other in the midfield. They're waiting to see who loses concentration. And then they can take off with it from the center. St. George is doing that very well. Wolaita is still trying to do that as well. Cherinet will help this one up at the front, but St. George are playing in the Wolaita Dicha half. They're pushing for an equalizer. Again, Gabriel Mikael doesn't get his head onto that ball. Ajay will send it out in a cautionary measure. I think it's a good decision that he makes there, Gilbert.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was an advancing striker just right close to him, and it's better you play the ball and you reorganize defensively.
Aida Sharefa to Gabriel Mikael. That's normal body contact on football. Now they'll not get you a foul for anything. I mean, it's just normal. I mean, that's a challenge for a 50-50 ball. I think it's the same kind of challenge. Running, he's inside the box, yes. But that touch does not warrant a penalty at all, Gilbert. Here it is again, in a very close angle. What is your claim for a penalty on that?
The touch by Eno Kadunya.
In fact,
on this angle, look at this angle.
Look at it. That's normal contact in a game of football. It will not get you a penalty at all. Write this down, Gilbert. Please write dog saw. denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. That one does not apply there.
Yeah, I think that's my opinion.
It's all right, it's okay. I think the referee wants this to be restarted. And he's wondering why Frimpong Mensah started it too early. It's going to be redone. Probably it's going to be pass for him. Well, something happened on the front there. Mr. Tasema, just make sure there is enough space between the two. And, oh, that's what Libero was arguing about. He wanted the ball given to them and then they can give it back in a sportsmanship gesture. Now they started again. Initially, it's a very quick action that had gone on the other side. Gabriel directly to Mr. Achai. It's not going to be working that way. They need to build it up better in front of goal, don't they, Gilbert?
Yeah, they're in a hurry. They're getting into the final third. But in the final third, you need numbers. If you can't be able to bring in the correct cross, then you need somebody closer to you to at least play one, two, quick movements off the ball.
Back into the midfield. Walden, who has lost his footing. This was already off the field of play. It was going to be a throw-in anyway, so Guksa didn't need to get involved in that. I think there's some tired legs as well coming from Guksa. Yeah, it looks. It's been running and kicking and jumping for 57 minutes, so it's not very easy. In these conditions, 57 minutes of running could be equivalent to about 77 minutes or even more. Could even be for double, because you're using double the energy to run onto that. But Ioleo cuts it back for a 45. That touch, but almost left it in that penalty area. Cherinek is going to be brought down here. And not a very happy defender here for the St. George side. Yasmir Tesfaye wondering why that should have been a foul. He doesn't seem like he's holding on to Cherinek. He's actually almost,
Yes.
almost lifting him up.
Yeah, it's dragging him down, and Cherinek has really run himself up. I think they need to move the ball away from him just to give him time to be able to recuperate.
Gonna go with it. He shoot it off the ball, and then he'll be penalized for a foul on Haida Sharifa. It's going to be a free kick for St. George. And as much as St. George is getting the possession of them running up at the front, they really are not getting the right kind of touches up at the front. But Wolaita Dicha is equally not getting the ball out of their own half now. And that's a worry, because if you have the ball being played in your half lots of times, there is the obvious higher percentage chance that you might concede a goal. You need to know how to get it from the midfield to Sintiyehu as well. Kenyan Martner brings it back to the midfield. Haida Sharifa. Long ball for Abel Yaleo. He just doesn't keep it in play. And it's a good thing that Ajay cuts out that angle totally to make it impossible for Abel.
Absolutely, and those are the kind of diagonal passes that I was talking about in the beginning of the second half. That's a good pass right from the left-hand side by none other than Haida Sharifa, just trying to find Abel Yaleo, but again, the ball just moving too fast for him.
Well, the bench was expecting the best at that time. Fatih Matasi is on that bench as well. A good number of other players, Liam Birhanu, Natnaz Zaleke, Getachew, Araya, all were expecting a little bit more than what they got in that instance. But they're going to have to wait for another one to be able to get anything positive for them. This is back into the midfield. And now Sintaye, who is taking off, got in the better of one defender, the application and the rush for it as well. Just overrides everything else that he was trying to do.
He knows he should have done better. That's a good pass from Didier Libre. And with one against one, I think Sintaye should have done a little bit better. He was hesitant to take the shot, and he doesn't make good use of the pass.
Yeah. Seems apologetic. He knows that he's lost a chance there, but he was also gunning to try and put the team further ahead. They're looking for the chances, and every time it's coming, it's just one, so they might as well use it. Another attempt here, the shot by Saladin Said. The through ball down to Dicha. He's got only Kadunya here. And he's already in the box. Oh, it's going to be a very easy one here now. It's not going to get anything for that. Adunya will just have cleared that ball for a corner. And
it's a good run again.
It's a good run, yes. But if you are talking about a chance for the Asherian Gooks, I beg your pardon. If you are talking about a chance the other time for a penalty, then this would have been even more of a chance than the other, because here it clears the ball here. But there's still that contact. That's accepted in a game of football. Yeah, Asherian Gooks takes off very quickly. Second time that he's got it into that box. Just doesn't cut the ball back on time. But then again, all the time he goes onto that side, he's been boxed into a corner. The angle, very narrowed there. You don't need 3 corners in this game. It just tells you everybody has been trying to win it right in the center of the field. And the defenders have been careful to bring it out. It's a long one, floated one, punched out by Barunegash. The attempt to get it up at the front. Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael doesn't have everybody up at the front. Now they're coming in to join Albelia there. Tackle out. And a very good tackle by Dicha.
Very good recovery.
As they try again to bring it from the right side, they cross this time round into the hands of Ajay. That will not work for the St. George side. They're laboring to find a way to go in. Libre just executes that tackle and moves away from there as if nothing happened. This is going to be a throw, says the assistant. It's very desperate moments at the moment. Everybody's calling for something else other than what the referee should be giving. You know that man there?
That should be careful.
And the goalkeeper there.
And Patrick
Matasi, the other goalkeeper as well. He's on the bench there. Yeah, Manuel Chef would have been looking for his chance there to get into this game. Yeah, tough times playing in this kind of conditions. Very difficult conditions.
It's difficult conditions.
Everybody leaves this one to roll all the way to the goalkeeper, who then easily picks it up. He will start the build up for the side. Back into the midfield. That's on it. Gabriel leaves it to the man in the middle. Walde gets onto it. And Lieber then tries to get it up in front of the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper just makes sure that cuts it out for a corner. It's going to be for the Wolaita Dicha side. But they don't seem to be in a hurry, and that will not be a very good sign, because it will mean that they're getting content with whatever they have at the moment. And there's so much time in this game.
There's so much time. I think the referee has stopped his clock. However slow they move, he has realized that Wolaita Dicha is really, really not in a hurry. And
it doesn't matter if we added on to the added time later on. So it's going to take it's going to be a Nagal Badeg who's taking the corner. Floats it into the area. Well, it doesn't even float it. It's just a very low and very easily cut off by the captain of the St. George side. And so I didn't say, just make sure it goes out for a throw-in. So, and Nagal Badeg is not in a hurry to take that throw-in as well. So for that, he gets yellow carded because he had already taken Ziyara Dawit. I mean, he had already taken time to go and take the corner on the other side. So he runs away from the throw-in. Ziyara Dawit.
It was just a matter of time when he was going to get his yellow.
He doesn't want to take the responsibility. It's a way of trying to take off time from the clock. And Ziyara Dawit, a bigger part, is yellow carded for no reason at all. So just runs away from responsibility then. It's going to go out of the field of play. It's going to be another throw-in. And we're going to have to contend with that kind of play at the moment. Not very well creatively done in the midfield. Not very well done up at the front as well.
think St. George have lacked creativity in the midfield. Two things that they've done wrong. The passes that they're giving are getting closer to the goalkeeper. If they're not getting closer to the goalkeeper, they are not precise passes to a certain individual. So that's the reason why they've really not made a mark in the forward line.
Adunya. Intentional big clearance coming in from Anthony Gugsa. An equally big clearance from this other side. I mean, testing it. And then here is Libre. Didier, that is going to be a penalty. Now that is an obvious goal scoring opportunity. He's facing the goal. He has possession of the ball as well. And he's tackled from behind, being denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity. That has no question at all. It's going to be given as a penalty to the Wolaita Dicha side. Frimpong might argue his case. He's facing goal, he's got possession, he's in the box, he's tackled unfairly from behind, he loses control and loses the ball. Absolutely. Now there is absolutely no argument.
Yeah, absolutely. The timing of the run, the pass, and the takeoff by Libre was absolutely in sync.
Well, Frimpong Bensu will rule that time, but he did that. He thought he was going to take one for the team and was hoping that it was just going to go unnoticed. But they're going to give the responsibility to Sintayehu Mengistu. The man who scored the highest number of goals on the side. He has 8 so far, including the one he scored in the 15th minute. But that's instructions coming from Bernard Tesema in a language that Barunegash can understand very well. He's telling him, if you get off the line, you're going to be in trouble. And the yellow card is not too far off if you try anything that is not in the books. Well, I only had the yellow card. But you can imagine there's nothing else. It could be told there. It's not in a very comfortable position, even for the taker, because the ground is soggy where the ball is placed. But Sintayehu and Barunegash. Sintayehu was put it in the net. A second goal for Sintayehu. Oh, he can afford a backflip as well. So we might as well assume that Sintayehu is almost back to full fitness. A penalty shot in the 67th minute changes the scoreline in favor of the Wolaita Dicha side. And I tell you right now, wherever Fasil is, the team, and wherever Fasil is, the location as well, if they're watching this, they're probably now beginning a celebration, because it was a very simple mathematics. If Fasil win another match, they already will be declared champion. Or if St. George and Ethiopia Buna lose one match, then they are going to be declared champions. So they first of all will be celebrating because St. George look like they're on the losing track. And then we'll wait to see the next game as well. Wolaita 2, St. George 0. But this game is not yet over. There's still about 22 minutes of play remaining. It's a lot of time in a game of football. Well, St. George busy protesting, thinking there's a handball here. While the rest of the men are already moving forward to go into the attack. Yeah, this is what they're very used to. Everybody is giving his opinion of what he thinks about what he thinks was a handball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different opinions of why that should be a handball.
And this is an international referee that they're dealing with. And there's also a very good fast assistant in Daniel Zeleke on the right hand side.
Here it is again. And it bounces off. It's chested off. There was a chance a second one in which they were claiming it could have been a handball. Yeah, that one. That has been pulled onto the side.
Absolutely.
If this was on a VAR situation, then that would probably have been given. When you look at it the second time, you see it. Here is a chance for a goal in a clock one for that motor. That comes from Abel Yaleo. Kindling a little hope that St. George can probably come back into this game. A nice bicycle kick in front of all the defenders. No one marking him. And Abel Yaleo with some good precision as well. Puts the ball in the net. There's a lot you can say about it as well. They could have been offside, the three of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are 3 players in offside position.
So
3 of them.
Yeah, they should not be complaining then. The mistakes do happen, and the assistant put the flag down in that situation. Here is another shot coming from the big man, Padovka Torch, who wants to test Baronega. Scoreline has changed again. Wolaita 2 and St. George 1.
It just happened so fast, man.
Yeah, that's why I said there's a lot of time
Yeah.
in this game of football.
It happened so fast.
This is going to be a corner. Well, now they know the Wolaita Dicha side. If they have any chance, they should hurry up to try and go and take it. And not dilly-dally, because then they get unnecessary cards and there's still a chance for them to, to score a goal if they want to. Or on the other hand as well, they could just be the ones that are getting penalized with it. Chance from the right side. It goes off the field of play. It's going to be the Wolaita side. Looks like a double substitution on the other side of the field. Manuel Cabra Mikael is the first one to go out. His place is taken by Dagmawi Araya. Very first game he's playing of the season for the St. George side. It is another man who's also on the side. That should be Errol Ndali coming in for Kenyan Markney. The juniors and youngsters given a chance. The coach said in the pre-match interview that he's going to give a chance to the youngsters today. I think that's the first two of the youngsters that we have seen, Gilbert.
Yeah, I think the first time that you're seeing the Maui Araya, but I think Abel Ndale has been involved in the game for 319 minutes. So just rejigging the forward line, the midfield, and also the forward line.
It's going to go on to the left side. Big clearance coming off that one. They've also made a substitution on the Wolaita side. Looks like Sekai Birhanu is in the game. And this is Sherman Guksa. Good ball to Sitayamba, gets offside again. It's going to be a free kick for the side. Very well caught there. By the second assistant, Mr. Mustafa Meki. The water break, I believe, is what the whistle has gone for. Frimpong Bensu will drew the time in which he tackled the Ivorian. Yeah, is another one. They could have been offside.
3 of them are in an offside position.
Yeah, even from that header, there are 3 men who are in the offside.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously very many hands up in there on the Wolaita Dicha side to protest that one. It's not anything about balancing, it's just that 2 occasions in which both sides have claimed they feel unfairly treated there. So it means that they can go off with it now. So much of the action going on to the St. George side. Wolaita looks like they're raiding, but less on this other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Wolaita are actually raiding the. I mean, they really don't have much going into the St. George side, apart from those quick bursts that we've seen in the last few minutes of the game. St. George, I think they've realized that they need to.
Yeah, this is the one they were protesting against here. Degu Tebebe is trying to clear a ball, and then he pulls the ball to himself. And then on the second look, you know that it's a handball. They really protested it. Adunya, the one who was bringing in the cross. And this one also being taken on a bicycle kick by Abel Yaleo, goes into the net, but could have been ruled offside as well. So 2 incidences that will be very debated on in this game, but which are providing the length and the width with which to play the game. Bebe flips it again. He's playing very dangerously now. That's not the kind of flip you give to your goalkeeper. That, I think, was intended to just block the ball, and then it bounces off his head and goes to his own goal area. A jive on it. That's why he got onto it. Maybe a lot of pushing and shoving here because it's a half a chance for a leveling goal for the St. George side. With a new fresh legs onto the field, was trying to get onto it. Sheridan has given his all in this game for the Wolaita Dicha side. Really worked hard at the front. He's really worked worked out in the midfield as well. Has been dashing back into defense as well to push. Oh no, George changes it onto the right side. Long ball to Sekai Birhanu, cuts it back to get a corner for his troubles. Bit cut off by Ringpon Minsu. It's now becoming a question of who blinks when the ball is coming in their direction.
Absolutely, you're looking for a superstar in this game.
And they're all avoiding the muddy patches on the field. They're playing on the flanks where things are being done much better than on this match. It's a corner for Wolaita Dicha. 2 goals to their credit. Mengistu is the man who's been twice on the mark. Trinidad Guksa brings in the corner, and then a very good hanging header that just doesn't go into the net, coming from one of the tallest men who was in that area. And Padov got touched a bit for accuracy.
That is good delivery by Trinidad Guksa. Takes Panon that watch, and he wants to get the far post. Again, he just doesn't hit the ball correctly. He knows he should have put the ball in the net.
Oh, misses to connect, well, connects but not accurately. And it goes back into the midfield. St. George will be looking for a chance to come out of it. The faster they can do that, the better for them as well. And looking at trying to get 3 points out of this game. Walden will go for it. And then man who's been very quiet in this game, Saladin Said for St. George, suddenly comes into the scene as well. There you go, but